What's up, YouTube? Scott Lett here, owner of Pro Exterior Cleaning. I'm headed home for the day. It's been a pretty good day. Had a couple meetings. One was with the guy about we talked about some potential work for him in 2021. So I had a few guys comment on a few of my videos that they wanted me to put together a video about the chemical line I use. So I just uploaded that a couple days ago. So y'all go check that out. And then I had a couple guys message me about putting a video out about how I bid apartment jobs. You know, how do I land these bids, and how do I even get out there and get my skin in the game, you know, to put a bid. So before I go any further, so anytime I upload a video, you know, my strategies, my chemical line, you know, my marketing, just know those are things that I have learned over time that work for me. So not everyone has, you know, the same exact ways of doing things. Okay, so the chemicals I use here in Tulsa, you know, you may not even, you know, use those where you're at. You know, I may not provide the same services as a lot of guys, you know. So just take, you know, what I put in these videos, and it's educational. You know, maybe there's something you can learn, but just know there's never just one way to do things. Okay, I'm just sharing with you guys what has worked for me, and it may be something that you could leverage to help, you know, that could work for you. So I just want to put that out there. So I think I've seen a lot of guys, not my videos in particular, critique other people's videos and saying they're doing this and that wrong. You know, if it's not a safety violation or something that's going to hurt them, that's the way they like to do it. You know, they've been doing it that way probably for a long time. It's a system that works for them. Just you know, don't bash people who do things differently than you. That's my whole point. So this whole industry is about putting together a system that you have been perfecting for a long time. So I've been doing this for 4 years. I do things a certain way, and I do things in probably a way that doesn't really align with other people's way of doing things, and that's okay. So, and that's why I don't ever critique other people's work. You know, if you show up and you do a good job and you clean someone's home and they're happy, that's all that matters. It really doesn't matter how you do it. I'm just here to provide shortcuts, you know, provide the tools and just the way I do things. And if you like it, try it out. That's all I'm saying. So check out the chemical line video. Now for the apartments, the first thing you need before you even consider going out and meeting with a property manager is confidence, right? You need to know that you're confident in yourself and your company and your equipment and your ability to do large jobs and complete them in a timely manner, and ultimately making sure that property is cleaned and they have spent their money on something on a surface that is professional, and you do what you say you're going to do. If you cannot do that with confidence, then you may want to stay in the residential world a little longer and get that experience, get that knowledge built up. So I've had some guys message me, you know, that are fairly new or brand new, and you know, they've said they don't even really want to mess the residential world. They want to go straight to commercial. I'm not saying it can't be done, but guys, most of my growing and learning and maturing in this industry happened in the residential world. You know, I learned how to close big jobs. You know, I learned ins and out of different type of jobs, different cleanings. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you screw up on a job, you want it to be as a residential job, you know, not at a $15,000 commercial job. So the knowledge, experience you gain from the residential world is only going to make you better than the commercial. So the residential world has made me confident in the ability to take on commercial work just because of the experience. It probably took me 2 years of residential work to get the confidence and knowing that I have the ability and the equipment to do these larger jobs. So don't take the residential world for granted is what I'm trying to say. So before you go out and meet with apartments, you just need to have confidence, because you're going to be showing up and you're going to be selling yourself to that apartment complex. You need to let them know who you are, what kind of services you provide, how you can help them, and you're there to put out a free bid, and within a few seconds you'll be able to tell how you did, and they're going to be able to sense your confidence, your professionalism, and they're going to be able to sense if you don't know what the heck you're talking about. I'm telling you, these people, these property managers, they've worked with a lot of people in the service industry, so they can tell who is legit and who's not. So go in there and be professional, have confidence, and sell that thing, man. Close it. So have confidence. Have a tangible delivery piece to give them, a flyer. So you want to have a deliverable, which is what I call it. Something tangible for them to look at with your information. So a flyer, not a business card. They're going to lose it. It's going to end up in the trash. If you have like a good size flyer, nothing too huge, they'll put it on their desk. And then as soon as y'all finish y'all's conversation, that property manager has a lot going on, right? You are constantly thinking about your business growing it. She has a job too, so she's not thinking about you and your awesome business the rest of the day. But that flyer she puts on her desk, she's eventually going to make her way back to it when it comes to decide who they're going to pick to come out and clean for the spring, okay? So make sure you have a good tangible piece to give them, a good flyer, with your name, your logo, your number, your list of services, a good before and after. Show you all my flyer. This is what I hand to apartments after I give them my elevator pitch. This is it. Take a good look at that. So also you wanna practice your 10 to 15 second sales pitch. I hate to call it that, but that's really what it is. Telling them who you are, what you do, how you can help them, and you're here to give a free estimate. So you can read their expressions, and a lot of times they're like, yeah, man, we need to do that. You're here early. You're bypassing them having to look you up and call you to come out. You're already there, so you might as well get a bid from you. So I'm telling you guys, if you can get in front of a property manager and they approve you of getting a bid, you have accomplished something. That's hard, because there's a lot of times I get there and the property manager's not there or she's busy. So if you can get in front of a property manager and they say yes, that's an accomplishment within itself. I'm just telling you guys. So yeah, have confidence, have some kind of tangible piece of marketing material to give them. A flyer is what I suggest. And then, okay, you're putting in a bid now. So, okay, what do you want cleaned? Like, what do you need for me to come out and give you a bid on? And guys, do not ever do a commercial bid or any type of bid, residential or commercial, over the phone. Hop in your car, drive out there, get your eyes on the property. It's good for them to see you anyways, okay? If you do everything over the phone, they just have a voice they're communicating with. They're probably not going to choose you. They're going to choose someone who's taking the time to come out there and dress up, get to know them. That gives you a time to make some small talk. They can get to know you a little bit, know your story, be personable. It's more than just showing up, hey, this is what I do, give me a quote. It's taking the time to talk to them. Hey, I'm a part of the Tulsa Apartment Association. I've been in Oklahoma for almost 7 months here. I moved here to get my wife back to her family. You're getting more on, different grounds there. So they feel like they kind of know you a little bit. And that's easier for them to remember you. So there's a lot of psychological things going on here, right? You want to strike some emotions. So for them to remember you. You don't want to be difficult to remember. I can promise you that. So make a good example, make yourself easy to remember, have confidence, have a good attitude, be personable, and then we get to the bid. So most apartment complexes, they want their breezeways clean. So there's a lot that goes on in a breezeway. You have the concrete, you have the walls, you have the rails, you have the stairs going up, you have the ceiling. So when they say breezeways, make sure you ask them, like, what all does that include? Because I made a mistake one time of thinking that was just the flat work, and they came out and said, hey, you've only cleaned the flat work, you didn't clean the walls. And I just assumed, which is a very amateur move of me, that was a while ago. But just make sure that the full detail of what the breezeway is. And they usually want the whole thing clean, cobwebs, grow, dirt daubers, all that kind of stuff. And that is where the high volume of their residents travel through, and they're walking through those breezeways constantly up and down the stairs. So slip and fall hazards is always in the shade. It gets wet, so there's mold, algae. So they just wanted to be safe for the residents, make it look better. So breezeways is the bread and butter, I'm telling you guys. So say we have a 10 building complex. There's 2 breezeways per building, 3-story breezeway. So I'm looking at about 200 to 250 per breezeway, probably more of 250. That's just kind of the price I use for apartments. So that's how I price it. I really can't give you much of a description. It takes about an hour and a half to do a breezeway, to fully clean it, surface clean it, do a soft wash on everything. If I'm making 200, 250 an hour, that's good money to me. Depending on where you're located, you can probably charge a little more. I'm not gonna, I just don't think there's any point getting all the details of how I'm pricing it. So, what is a good hourly rate for you in the commercial world? Good hourly rate. That's kind of up to you. So, but that's how I price it per breezeway. 250 commercial. That's good money. So, and then some apartments, they'll mention all the sidewalks and curbs that run through the complex. And even if they don't mention it, I go ahead and walk the whole complex and see all the concrete, or I'll get on Google Earth, see how much concrete there is, and walk it off, come up the square footage, and charge 35 to 40 cents for the concrete. And I throw that in the bid anyways. I don't care if we talk about concrete or not. I just include it, because if they're thinking breezeways, and now they have a bid for all the concrete and it's a good price, they're like, well, we might as well just get it all clean. They send it to the owner, and the owner's like, you know what, that'll make everything look great, let's go ahead and do it. And that's worked for me, guys. And you don't have to mention it. Dumpster pads too, there's probably 3 or 4 different dumpster locations, at our apartment complex. So that's kind of your job too, to notice things that are dirty, because you want to provide as many services as you can while you're there. You might as well. The worst thing they can say is no. Don't ever just show up and ask what they need done and just send in a bid for that. Okay. Add a few things they probably hadn't even thought of, because if you mention it, they're probably gonna be like, nah, don't worry about it. But if you go ahead and put together a bid for them and the numbers are already in front of them, they're way more likely to just go ahead and do it. I'm telling you guys. And I'll always do this, always, on for apartments. This doesn't happen in the residential world. I always throw in the pool deck for free. Pool decks get filthy. They have to be signed off by the county every year to get signed before people can use the pool deck. There's a lot of trip and fall hazards. There may be glass out there. There may be algae and mold. It's a good time to disinfect the pool furniture too. That's an upsell, especially with the coronavirus going on. I can disinfect and clean your pool deck. That could be another service. But me personally, I throw that in for free just to seal the deal, to get the apartment, because I guarantee you the other bids they have, they may not be as high, or they may be around the same price range, but I guarantee you no one is throwing in a pool deck for free. So that's my preference, and it's worked. People love free stuff, and that makes you easy to remember. This guy gave us a free pool deck cleaning. So it's all about customer experience, guys. I know the apartment complex is your customer, but the property manager is who you're trying to impress. And it starts with the initial phone call, the going and introducing yourself, handing out your flyer, giving them a clear picture of who you are, what you do, how you can help them, giving them a very thorough bid, a very detailed bid, submitting your bid, a follow-up call in a week just to make sure they received your email, or even the next day. And just make yourself easy to remember. Be relational, and throw in some services for free, or throw in a service they didn't think of and include it in the bid. I'm telling you, it works. So this isn't rocket science, guys. I know it can be overwhelming to think about these big jobs and how you come up with numbers. It's really not about the pricing. Obviously, if there's a $20,000 bid and then yours is like 15, there's not going to be that big of a gap if you know what you're doing somewhat, based on square footage and stuff. But it's all about the customer experience, right? And I'll let them know, look, I have an 8-gallon per minute machine. I have hot water. I have a trailer full of really good equipment, professional grade equipment, and just let them know that. Sometimes I'll bring my trailer with me and let them see it. And when they get their eyes on my trailer, they're like, man, this guy is legit. So, but that doesn't mean if you have a 4-gallon per minute machine, that doesn't mean you're not going to get the jobs, because a lot of guys don't do that. I'm just leveraging everything possible, from dressing professionally having confidence, having the equipment, having a nice flyer, giving them a very thorough bid, going in something for free, following up with them. Those are all just a great solution for landing these jobs. And that's what I've been doing, guys. And like I said, this isn't probably the procedure and the way other guys go about it, but this is the way I do it, and it's worked. So it's all about that customer experience, man. You want to be easy to remember. You want to give them a good price. You want to give them something for free. You want to have the equipment. You want to have the confidence. You want to be professional. And I guarantee you, if you go out and do that to 20, 30 apartment complexes, you'll land 4 or 5 of them at least. So, and that's mainly because it's not because you did anything wrong. It's because there's some apartment complexes that just don't have money right now, or they don't have any need for your services. Then there's apartments who do everything in-house, but you don't know unless you try. The fact that you showed up and gave them your flyer and they're like, well, we do everything in-house. The next week their pressure washer could break, and they don't want to spend money on a new pressure washer, or they don't have the manpower to do it because it's a bunch of 70 or 50 to 70 year old men trying to maintain an apartment complex. Well, let's just hire this young guy with all this nice equipment, and next thing you know, you're cleaning for that apartment who didn't need you last week. Those things happen, man. The more you can get in front of people and change their mind based on how you carry yourself, and like I said, make yourself to where they remember you, okay? And you'll have a lot of success. All right, guys. Sorry this was 16 minutes. I'm sorry. Y'all have a good rest of your day.